Our handles on social media, Oakley Sports on both Twitter and Instagram. Bernie's interview is also brought to us by Wayfair. When you think game day, you may not think Wayfair, but you should, because Wayfair is the best kept secret for incredible and affordable game day finds. Wayfair has everything you need to get your space ready for the season, whether you're tailgating outdoors or cheering from your living room. Wayfair is a trusted destination for all things game day, from coolers and grills to recliners and slow cookers. Shop, save, and score today at Wayfair.com. That is Wayfair.com. Wayfair, every style, every home, your way.
Bernie, I got to know, I'm asking everybody today, are you caught up in Guardians fever right now?
I can't believe you transitioned that quick from that last 15-minute segment.
Just killing Jared Allen.
Oh, my gosh. I got to tell you, you guys have the distinction. I love coming here. I'm honored and humbled to be a part of this, every week and stuff. But I got to say, this is the only show talking Cavs right now at 12:15. Got the Guardians fever. I absolutely have that. Yeah. And Browns Lions this week after the Packers game. Yeah. So I am. But really, and then I'll say this in the spirit of levity, but a super serious thing. I really got my Dr. Kosar hat on today. Yeah. And if David Fry was my son, you would have to scrape me out of Lutheran Hospital right now. And the stuff that I'm wearing you guys about the exosomes, the stem cells. So important for your parents or people out there. If something of that magnitude happens to you now with Friday night football and concussions, and that's obviously a massively extreme thing. But there's some things that I'm doing that from a transplant perspective, that I'm still on the list that I could be called, yet I'm able to hang out here.
Right. How are you feeling?
Actually, I feel really good, all things considered. Good. That's why I could be so confident to say that some people, sometimes if you have extreme cases like that, and anybody who cares about David Fry, who's close to him right now, should track me down this afternoon for some of the stuff that you're able to do to stop the bleeding within your brain and to get the oxygen and blood flow that you absolutely need to create really quickly after brain damage, which is really bluntly what he has.
Really scary there.
Have you ever had any breaks in your face from football?
Well, if you look at this Pinocchio nose, it's obviously been smashed into the deep recesses of my cranium, and that's absolutely why I'm such an expert, unfortunately, at the fencing and the midbrain paralysis that guys like me, Mitch McConnell, Tua have, and David Fry. You're at risk when the nose goes into the middle of your face, back your brain's right there. So those are the type of things that, that's an extreme concussion, an extreme example, but those are some of the things that we used to goof about, seeing stars, how cool we are. It's a subconcussive blows. Well, that's the side of the equation you want to be at, and unfortunately David's on the extreme side, but I'm not proud of it, and I'm not bragging at all. No sympathy. But I've had my nose caved in and my face caved in, and you break these cheekbones and stuff, and that's absolutely the bones that he's broke. And those are causing bleeding into the frontal lobe, which is your short-term memory when you become an old man. So you guys don't got to deal with it exactly, yet David don't need to deal with it. That's the short-term memory that you get annoyed with when you got to talk to us old guys, and we can't remember what we just did for breakfast. And I'm doing good because I can remember that bad segment of killing Jared Allen, okay? Like my man, okay, 15 minutes ago. So
my God.
Being able to remember when I wasn't able to remember, again, it's just something you got to really think about as opposed to just, suffering through it.
Let me ask you about Joe and this offensive line, because you talk about injuries and punishment and all of those things. What is some things the Browns can do to overcome the lack of having talent at the tackle position?
So the game, albeit wasn't punishing to watch in terms of an entertainment value. You defensive guys may have liked it, but from an entertainment value, it makes me massively excited to be retired when you see games like that from a quarterback perspective and that. The line thing is absolutely one thing, and you have to somewhat stay boring in the run game and play action and stay at it, because And I'm in the spirit of humor today, so please don't fire me, okay, on the way out. And it's only partially serious, but this great country of ours has been built on the separation of church and state. Well, great offenses and great quarterbacks are built on the separation of defensive backs and receivers, and we are void of that right now offensively. There is no separation of our receivers.
Yeah.
So I'm not picking on them, but you have statistically zero chance as a Q to be able to throw the ball when there's no receiver separation and you're under duress having to get the ball out massively on time too early on time, and that's what Joe's up against. It's actually masterful that he's played like he has to look like this, because it's been real hard to do that. So you got to kind of get more of the same. We kind of got Green Bay sleeping a little bit, feeling good about themselves. You know, the Lions, they are a fantastic team, but they play Monday Night Football. They feel good about themselves too. So this is a game where you got to keep it ugly. Don't let Aiden Hutchinson get going. We know our tackles are a problem. This is not going to be Christmas morning where a miracle happens. So you know it, and know it with lots of tight ends and run at them.
Would we be better off with Doug Deegan right now at tackle than what the Browns have? A 60-something. Well, how old is Doug? Doug might be 70, right?
Well,
70 plus.
I'm again, and I'm talking as the fourth quarter of my life in spiritual healing and empathy and an empathetic human. Yeah. And I love Deke, but Deke needs the stem cells and exosomes. Okay, we need physical presence. We don't need
that real talk.
We don't need happy, nice, people like us right now. And I feel bad for DeJuan Jones. I know people were dogging him. I'm into him. I feel bad he got hurt. I think he was going to keep evolving, and right now, even more of a reason to run and try to do some play action pass and keep it tight and wear on him, because look, it was so ineffective most of the game the other day, and even in the drives we scored, the defense put us in those spots, but you do kind of wear them down a little bit. And when you can only make one or two plays at the right time, Joe made the one or two plays that you need, and that's something that the way I think we're gonna have to play.
So you would stick with Joe?
I think it would be torture for a young quarterback out there. Oh my God! I mean, look, I want to see him. It's hard. It's hard in the NFL. Forget that. Even with loaded teams. This team, I'm not picking on it. It's not loaded.
Yeah.
To put the young guys out there right now is sinful. If you want to see them fail, okay, and you want to see them look at it, the you matter, self-confidence, self-esteem. We all will talk the talk. You go take that pummeling out there with nobody open, and you're going to try to make plays. You're going to develop bad habits. You're not going to believe in yourself. Your eyes are going to drop. You're going to start hearing the demons. I'm not saying you get like the Sam Darnold. You see, you don't know what you see, but it's too early right now. It's dangerous out there.
Let me go to this. You talked about the play calling. As I watched all 22 and seen it about 3 times, the Cleveland Browns, like you said, they are very basic. They run, the basic levels concepts, and they want to marry that with a play action. If you don't have receivers that can get separation, the offensive line is diminished to a point where you don't have the time to even throw downfield. I like to think of you as a play caller because you did call your own plays. What are some ways that Kevin Stefanski can get creative in order to get some cheap yards? Like, when you're doing motion and you just motioning a guy to get him in open, or we ain't never seen a dig and go. We just we got 4 shot plays we gonna get to. What would you suggest to do in order to manufacture some separation?
So Coach Stefanski plays that game, and I'm not saying this because I'm his marketing rep, and I believe he plays it good, although people crucify for him. It's masterfully amazing that we really should be 2-1. Okay, with a couple kicks right now, with playing 0 offense for 3 games, and we could be 2-1, but we're 1-2 with doing things the way we have been offensively. I really think we saw towards the end of the game, and I am possibly the optimist burning out, grasping at straws, but Judkins now, a game and a half into it, in the second half, started a little bit of physical running the other day.
Yep.
We couldn't do play action in the first 2 games and a half because, albeit the young kid from Tennessee was electric and cool, he doesn't invoke any fear in the running game in between tackles. That's not his fault. That's not what he's around for. Judkins was here to be between the tackles guy. We started doing a little bit, 94 yards, and mostly in the second half. I really think we're going to get a dose of him this week, and then trying those play action passes. That'll give us a little more statistical chance to do exactly those things. And Detroit is the master of the play action game, and I think Kevin wants to match that this week. And with Judkins now doing a little bit of running game, tackles being out, we're going to have to do more of that. And I see those type plays being created off of our Ohio State guy, who's now starting to I think, feel himself.
Yeah.
He's 2 games in it. He had no training camp, and he started looking good. Let's hope that needs to keep going because he needs to be the running back we need him.
They talked about that. One of the weaknesses on Detroit's defense is the secondary. Well, not the secondary. Their safeties checking tight ends. Obviously, we have 2 in David Njoku and Harold Fanning. What type of plays would you draw up?
So I love those 2 guys, and that's actually why I'm such a kind of a jerk with the separation of church and state and receivers and DBs, because it's becoming the rugby scrum within the numbers of people isolated on the 2 most productive receivers we have, David Njoku and Harold Fanning. I absolutely love that. That's, again, the Judkins running play action game. That will also, I think, keep people a little more in the box, not teeing off on the run game to get, because we don't have separation, square and takeoffs, double moves down the road. You'll need your tight ends to block a little longer on that, and that's where I like when I was spending a lot of time with David Njoku back in the Baker Mayfield days, where we really connected, where let's get together and I'm your check down guy. One of them 2 in those play actions will always be your check down guy. One clears through, one blocks, checks down, and then you have the double move guys behind it. I really see that being the core part of our offenses. And we need to do that going forward. That's what Joe Flacco was successful at and when we had that magical time a couple years ago. And I think we're gearing towards that. And a great dominant defense allows us a little time to play in that space because there are bumps in the road when you play it that way.
I'd use that as my base package. I mean, I remember
all day.
When Gronk and Hernandez were killing and destroying the league, they come out with those 2 tight ends, and they could do anything.
Hey, you remember me and you saying it wasn't because we like Harold. Okay, and because I like Chief, that's the core part of our offense. Those 2 guys don't need to leave. They really don't need to leave the field on 3rd down.
No,
I'd have them in there all the time. I so believe in that, and that makes the physical presence. It'll make the tackles better.
Yeah,
it'll help
and
the
especially
kids.
Outside of Judy, they don't have anything at wide receiver really.
Right, and Harold Fanning's getting open.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to see a nickel back cover him, a linebacker, a average safety. Like, bring that all day long.
Bernie, I got to ask you an impossible question, but I'm going to see what you say.
All right.
Better athlete of all time, Dion or Bo Jackson?
God, I was so awesome to play with both of them, hang with both of them.
Yeah.
And then have to get to work out a little bit with both of them. So I do know where I fit in that totem pole. Okay, on that. Bo before the hip thing, and I played against him in the kickoff classic in college, man. We go back to some awards things back. And Bo Jackson is a massively positive influence for people who study perseverance. So as a kid, insecure, people thought he was an egotist. And it really was, he had a stuttering communication problem, and the world wasn't ready to be open about that, and he's overcome it. And to see how he communicates and affects young people now is awesome. And I love what Dion's doing, out there. But Dion picked off one of my passes that I thought I had for sure a touchdown on. And he just
Did he talk trash to you?
We won the game.
Yeah.
So,
High step on you.
No, he didn't high step on me, but literally, I mean, he was, I mean, I think I had Webb open from about here to G. Bush. I mean, it was like Aviazzo open, like, and I threw it pretty good, and he just hit some other gear, and the paw came up. You know, it was
So who you taking if you had to choose?
well, I want both on my team.
Yeah. But to me, like obviously Deion's a Hall of Famer, and he was a decent baseball player. I think if Bo Jackson had stayed healthy and had played either baseball or football only, I think he could have been a Hall of Famer in both. Do you?
Yes.
One or the
Oh
other.
yeah, he was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable in baseball. I mean,
Yeah.
I was running with him at that time.
That's crazy.
Well, Bernie, we need you to sign this.
Oh yeah,
helmet.
that's right. We want you. Can you sign the helmet for us?
Yeah.
There you go.
Bernie, we're glad you're feeling well. You don't know when it's coming, right? In terms of the transplant.
No, you know what? I got
Yeah.
called. Actually, it was one of the Thursdays. I wasn't supposed to be here last
right.
Thursday.
Yeah.
And I was close to being on the table, and I was on my way over, and they, unfortunately, the person who passed, the liver was infected.
Yeah.
So, but that's actually probably why I feel so good, because I got prepared for it, and I did a lot of my IVs and stem cells to do that. So, I have extra, David. Okay, I didn't use it all.
And by the way, he's gracious. I've been out with him in public, and you would be surprised how many people come up to him, and he
it's
never
great.
says no.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's tough too with your kids, family. I got my granddaughter in town, but you know, like right now, most of our interactions, I tell young players this. Sometimes they were busy and stuff, but it's mostly 15 to 20 seconds. You know, and it's one thing, Bull, if I blow you off. Okay, we're older guys and stuff. But if I blow your kid off, come on, they're 10, 11 years old.
Yeah.
For that 15 seconds, they remember that their whole life. So, you know, to be able to say, hey, man, good to see you, bro. What grade you in? Do good in school, as opposed to, oh, my God, I'm late. I got to go, man. I'm busy. I got my ex-wife screaming at me. She's coming to town. Careful.
Apparently, you and Bull honk at each other in traffic.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. No wonder I'm single. I mean, I'm flirting with guys. Most people would say, look over there checking out the hot girl, and I'm checking out Bull. Like, oh, my God. Bless me, Father. I am a scarred Catholic.
Well, Bernie, let me say, in the last 4 years, I've
seen you 10 times at the carpool line.
I know. It's unbelievable.
How come I'm always picking up?
What is going on there? Bernie, we wish you well, obviously. Keep staying healthy. Keep fighting the fight. My mother had a kidney transplant in the last 4 years. My wife had to have a bone marrow transplant in the last 4 years. They're both doing well, and I know the process can be tough, obviously, along the way. So wish you the best,
Thanks,
as
brother.
always, and hope the transplant comes soon.
Thank you,
We're
guys.
thinking of you as
Appreciate you.
always.
Thanks, Sam.
All right,
That
the
is
great
the
Go
Bernie
Guards
Kosar.
tonight.
Incredible.
Go.
Bernie Kosar. Bernie,
Yeah.
thanks for coming in. Guys, we mentioned the Guardians. We talked Guardians